When you first got to the league, who was the first person to bust your ass?
Darren Williams.
53 points for Darren Williams, 7-point lead for New Jersey. Here's Williams, shoots and hits.
Larry gave me 50 and 3/4.
Bird on the 20-year-old Kemba. Takes a follow-away. Oh! He's got 40.
Jose Calderon.
DeRozan drives, kick out. Here's Jose, the three. Bang on!
Derek Coleman.
Not today, Shaq.
It was Melo, man.
Anthony backing down George. Quick move, drives and finishes.
Goran Dragic.
Let's see what he does. He goes all the way and explodes to the hole. Puts the foul.
Every NBA rookie has it. That one moment where suddenly things get real out on the court and they realize they aren't in college anymore. Because in the NBA, when it comes down to it, you're playing against the best players in the world, which means if you aren't ready to bring it on a nightly basis, things can go downhill very fast and suddenly you have a real life nightmare on your hands. A nightmare that you will never forget. Which is why on the Knuckleheads podcast, they ask all of their guests the following question.
Who was the first person to bust your ass?
Which is hilarious and also gives us the topic for today's video because as you are about to watch, a lot of future NBA stars got straight up bullied and embarrassed in their own welcome to the NBA moments, and we are going to look at every guy you just saw in the intro. So what's up guys, Mike here, and before we get started, this is the second video I'm doing on this topic, which means I do want to give a huge shout out to the Knuckleheads podcast again for asking this question. Darius Miles and Quinton Richardson are killing it with their podcast. Go check it out. The link is in the description of this video. Go show them some love, guys. Trust me, their podcast is amazing and they have some amazing guests. Now though, as for some star rookies getting a wake-up call, let's start off with Kemba Walker.
Darren Williams.
Ooh, Utah Jazz, D-Will?
I think he had like 52 or something like that. Ooh. Yeah, he got busy on us.
You talking about
Enough.
And you was at the crib. You probably had family and everybody there.
Like, you got my mom seeing this.
I love the laughter here. I love how Kemba looks back at this as a funny moment in a rough rookie year that saw the Bobcats win just 7 games. And as you can see, guys, we are starting this list off very strong because Darren Williams did not score just 52 points like Kemba remembered. Darren dropped a career high 57 points on a rookie Kemba Walker's head in what has to be one of the most embarrassing things to happen to a rookie since Dirk Nowitzki and Steve Nash were forced to get these haircuts. Wait, that was their own choice? Anyway, in this game, Darren Williams was guarded by both Kemba and DJ Augustine, but as we can see, when Kemba was on him, Darren gave him absolutely no respect. D-Will reigned in threes, he abused Kemba in the post, he beat him off backdoors, and he actually threw several absolute dimes that remind us just how good a prime Darren Williams was. Remember, there was a time he was considered the second best point guard in the entire NBA behind Chris Paul. Now, the Nets did only win this game by 3, meaning that they needed every bit of Darren Williams' career high, and honestly, maybe this game got into Kemba's head a bit as Jalen Rose actually accused Kemba Walker of purposely trying to hurt Darren Williams by sliding under Darren's feet on this jump shot.
It's all about the maintenance side. You got excellent maintenance. Williams goes down. Williams in some pain. The Nets come over to help him up,
which resulted in an ankle injury for Darren Williams. Personally, I think Kemba just slipped here though, and speaking of slipping, Darren Williams' talent, as we all know, was basically gone by the 2017 season, which is why it's no surprise that Kemba's last matchup with Darren Williams gave him some major revenge. Kemba would go off for 28 points in this final matchup, while Darren, well, he had 2 points. Still though, 57 points on Kemba's head. No wonder Kemba had an immediate answer to this question, and unlike some of the other head-to-head matchups on this list, this game was no fluke. Taking a look at their head-to-head stats for their career, Darren Williams completely dominated Kemba, even though the two never even played when Darren was in his true prime in Utah. Up next though, with perhaps the best story on this list, we've got Shawn Kemp.
I go to the game on the early bus. I get there. They come out on the court. They say, hey, Shawn, you starting tonight against Larry. Larry gave me 50 and 3/4. And he talked to me the whole entire game. Well, first of all, he asked me at the jump ball, he said, you the cat that broke all my records in high school, right? And I was like, yeah, that's me. He goes, yeah, you the one that used to dunk my brother too, right? Eddie. And I was like, yeah, that's me. He said, I got you for you tonight. So every shot he was calling, at the defensive end, he would tell me, he'd be like, when I get down to the other end, I'm going to pump fake you, get a hand one on you, look at you, go off the glass. He started shooting the ball with his left hand, man, making it off on me, looking at me, still slapping me on my butt and everything.
Okay, so as you'll see with some of the stories in this video, players do tend to misremember some details like the stats of the game, but overall, I'm going to just assume that the events that Shawn Kemp just recalled took place over multiple games, which is understandable because all of this happened about 30 years ago, so we'll cut Shawn Kemp some slack. Anyway, while Shawn Kemp would eventually develop into a 6-time All-Star and 3-time member of the second team All-NBA, in the 5 games he played against Larry Bird, Kemp ranged between the ages of 20 to 22, and Larry was near the end of his career as he was between the ages of 33 and 35. So you might think that nothing special would happen here as Larry was too old and Shawn Kemp was too young to really dominate. However, Larry did absolutely annihilate the Seattle Supersonics in Shawn Kemp's first game against Bird. Now, Shawn did not start this game and only played in 13 minutes, but I'm sure Larry was talking his usual trash talk. We certainly know Larry Bird is one of the best trash talkers in NBA history, so it really would be no surprise that Larry Bird would call Shawn Kemp out for breaking his high school records and then seek revenge. And from Shawn's point of view, I'm sure he was in complete awe, because in the first game that Shawn played against Larry, Bird would finish with a 40-point triple-double compared to Kemp's measly 5-point, 1-rebound performance. This would be Larry's best game against Shawn, but there really was no bad game against Shawn, because 3 seasons later, Larry would retire with a 5-0 record against Shawn Kemp, and he absolutely overmatched Shawn statistically, giving Shawn Kemp absolutely zero silver lining in this story. Moving on though, let's listen to Kyrie Irving.
First game, I played against Jose Calderon. He gave me 26 and 14. Like, yo, he was celebrating like a mother. I was sick. I had 6 and 6 that night. I was like, yo, this mother. And I swear to you, to this day, I will dog you. We played against Toronto that next year. That's when I hit that game winner. Every time I see you when he was in New York, I was like, yo, I'm funny. Yo.
You know, every time I see him, straight
It was
up.
personal every time after that.
Again, I've got to say, I love it when guys can just embrace that there are times in their rookie seasons where they are going to get embarrassed, and with Kyrie, it is for sure funny that Jose Calderon is the name that immediately comes to mind because, of course, Kyrie was a #1 draft pick and is a multi-time All-Star, while Jose Calderon has been solid throughout his career, but at the end of the day is Jose Calderon. Jose is the most surprising name on this list, but before we get into their head-to-head matchup, like with a lot of things that Kyrie says, we need to do some fact-checking here because the numbers he's throwing out are just off. Now, Kyrie said Jose gave him 26 and 14, and that for sure never happened because not only did Jose have 15 and 11 in his first game against Kyrie, but also Jose never had 26 points or 14 assists in any game he played against Kyrie. To be fair though, Kyrie probably has just blown this first meeting up in his head because he did shoot 2 for 12 and finished with 6 points and 7 assists to again Jose's 15 and 11, and this was the first regular season game that Kyrie ever played in the NBA. Remember, after the season at a Team USA minicamp,
yeah, me and Kobe, he said that he wants to bet me 50 grand. He's walking out right now. He said he wants to donate 50 grand to his charity if we play one-on-one. It's on the table though, me and Kobe, one-on-one.
That is the kind of confidence Kyrie has in himself, which is admirable, but if we put ourselves in Kyrie's shoes, you have to think that he never expected that in his first NBA game, the moment he had dreamed about his entire life, Jose Calderon would go out and embarrass him. And to make things even worse here, just 2 weeks later, Kyrie would get his first chance for revenge, but instead of getting revenge, he shot just 3 for 13 and finished with 12 points and 4 assists, while Jose Calderon had 13 points and 11 assists, and the Raptors again won the game. This is the kind of story I love to have here, a completely random guy giving a star rookie a welcome to the league moment. And as for what Kyrie went on to say as for the revenge he had on Jose, looking at the very next season, we've got a close one. The Cavaliers are down by 2 points when this happens.
Now down to 5 seconds. He's got to go to work. Sizing up Anderson. Long three. The bottom! Kyrie Irving! I cannot believe you've done it again!
And overall, yes, Kyrie has completely dominated Jose stat-wise, which is no real surprise. And I've gotta say, that game winner in his second season against Jose must have felt real nice if he really was holding the grudge he says he was holding. Continuing forward, we have Shaq.
Well, a lot of people bust my ass, but Ewan bust my ass, Robinson bust my ass, Akeem bust my ass, like all the big guys. So the first person to dunk on me was Derek Coleman.
Okay, and so with Shaq, I've gotta say, I was a little surprised about how humble he was when it came to the situation generation of older players dominating him. Remember, Shaq came into the league as an all-star from day one, and by his second season, he was already averaging close to 30 points, 13 rebounds, and 3 blocks a game. So the fact that he named that many players dominating him really is a sign of the respect he has for the legends that came before him. For Shaq though, because he named so many people, let's do something a little different and focus on the first time he got dunked on by Derek Coleman. Now, Coleman was a one-time all-star and a 20-point per game scorer, but after hearing all of the Hall of Fame names that Shaq just dropped, Derek Coleman is definitely not who you would think would be the first person to bring Shaq down. Throughout the game in Shaq's rookie year, Shaq and him were trash talking to each other, and eventually, Derek saw his chance to make history. As you could see in this clip,
You're a rookie too. What a move over. Whoa, look at him. Whoa. Not today, Shaq. Whoa.
Okay guys, we've got to talk about this. One, the disrespect. Coleman throws down on Shaq and then wags a finger at him. I mean, Shaq got into fights in his career and was an absolute unit at this point physically, but Derek Coleman was clearly not afraid, and all Shaq could do in this moment was just stash this memory in his head for later. However, speaking of revenge, remember that time that Shaq pulled down an entire backboard in his rookie season? Yup, he did it against the Nets in the same season as, again, Shaq and Coleman were talking trash, and boom, down goes an entire backboard. And overall, Shaq definitely outplayed Coleman head to head throughout his career. As you can see, Shaq dominated Coleman in every single category that matters, even assists. Now next up, we've got Paul George.
You know what? It was Melo, man. It was Melo. My rookie year, he went for like 30 or 40. Danny got hurt that game, so I got all the minutes. He gave me everything too.
To start off here, this is the only time I don't have clips of Melo with the Nuggets against Paul George because YouTube just doesn't have the game, so please just enjoy these clips of Melo dominating Paul George on the Knicks and pretend that it's the Nuggets. Anyway, Paul George is kind of a unique player on this list, as unlike most of the other guys we are covering, not much was expected of PG as a rookie, and overall in his first season, he would average just 7.8 points per game, which is why on most nights, Paul George was not expected to guard another team's star player for an extended amount of time, except for on one fateful night, because when looking at Paul George's game logs for his rookie season, he must be talking about his second game he played against the Nuggets, where Melo went for 36 points, but more importantly, scored 23 points in the third quarter. That is an absolute scoring explosion, and I'm not surprised at all that it is stuck in Paul George's memory. To be fair though, for a rookie, PG did have a solid game himself. He had 17 points on 7 of 10 shooting in just 26 minutes. So in terms of some of the other games on this list, this wasn't the worst. And speaking overall here, stats wise, Melo for sure has the upper hand scoring wise and rebounding wise, and in their only playoff series, again, Melo was dominant and averaged around 28.5 points per game and 8 rebounds per game. So statistically, Melo would be my choice for the winner of this head-to-head matchup. But when it comes to wins, sure, Paul George only won 2 more games in the regular season, but more importantly, in their only playoff matchup, the Pacers did come out on top. So overall, for their careers, this one could go either way. I'm gonna give the advantage to Melo, but you guys can decide in the comments who you think has the head-to-head advantage. And at this point, wrapping things up, we've got Damian Lillard.
Preseason at Phoenix, Goran Dragic. And I was just like, damn, he crafty, he shooting, he pulling up, getting fouled, and I was just like, damn. Just after the game, I was just like, it's gonna be a tough year.
Now, as we all know, recently Goran Dragic has gotten a lot more respect than he had due to his recent NBA Finals run with the Miami Heat, but for a long time, Dragic was one of the most underrated players in the NBA, which is why for me, it's no surprise that someone like Damian Lillard would overlook him, but it's also no surprise that Goran would make him pay. And because the game Dame mentioned took place in the preseason, we're not going to focus on that. Instead, we're going to focus on February 2nd of the 2013 season, where Goran absolutely went off. In this game, Dragic helped lead the Suns to a 4-point win and dropped a casual 16.5 rebound, 18 assist performance in the process. So while Goran's name is never really discussed as a top point guard in the league, as Dame even said, he was like, I'm not out here playing Chris Paul, Goran has proven throughout his career that he is more than capable of outplaying any point guard in the league on any given night, and Dame certainly learned that lesson early on. By the way, as you can see for their careers, the stats are surprisingly close for both of these players head to head. Yes, Dame does have a 6 6-point advantage in scoring, but other than that, these guys are near identical. And at this point, guys, we are done, so thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to subscribe for more NBA videos just like this. This video took a lot of time and effort. I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. Also, I'd like to think you just want to subscribe so you never miss a single video. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You're awesome. We all know it. And as always, guys, have an awesome day and cue that music. If you're still here while the music is cued, here are 2 videos I think you are definitely going to enjoy. Make sure to click on one of them. Again, I know you're gonna love it. And other than that, have a great day and peace.